What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. As long as the episode doesn't crash, welcome back to the Stick Drift Podcast. Yes, last episode broke. I don't even know why. It wouldn't be the Stick Drift Podcast if it's like a bi-monthly bugged episode. One episode every other month or so will bug out. It's so consistent.
We had that run where it was basically every other episode would have some kind of technical issue.
And either the whole episode was green, or it would just not record, or it would have like a crackling. It's just endless. But welcome back to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things car culture, racing games, and motorsports, where I, along with Josh, talk about all those aforementioned things every goddamn week. Honestly, the episode date might as well be Tuesday at this rate. I mean, it's not like...
Well, that's why it was moved to Monday, because it might as well have been Monday. It just can't get pushed back and back and back.
The best one was Sunday, because it was Motorsports Monday, filmed on a Saturday, uploaded on a Sunday, having nothing to do with Monday. And that was when that was when it was still called Motorsports Monday.
This is at least being recorded on a Monday. So.
Exactly, right? Like, it's just, there's no charm to it if Motorsports Monday actually has something to do with Monday. Where's the charm? But
is that the reason we're going with it being recorded today and not yesterday?
Yeah, of course. But I mean, speaking of losing charm, car news and all of the different car companies. We've got a few little bits of car news, and then I thought, seeming as the Stick Drift Podcast never has a hot take, we've never ever been known for saying something that was like, what are you on about? And we only have the best of takes. I thought we would go through some car hot takes this episode. But beginning with the little bits of car news in the world of cars. I'm looking at Autoblog. Dodge Charger allegedly getting 885 horsepower EV option. What, is that going to be the new one?
It's that weird hyper futuristic one with the electric engine sound thing. Yeah, that one.
I mean,
apparently they're getting an 885 horsepower version, which
is that a lot? That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it'd be the highest power stock Charger. But
how's an EV doing that? But isn't the whole thing supposed to be EVs aren't powerful? But then again, the Navira's doing all the world record breaking and whatnot.
It's about the opposite. It's super easy for an EV to make a ton of power.
So why are people all annoyed then? Speed is manly. So EVs are. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
It will. Any EV handles like an actual boat, unless it's like the IDR or something, because they all weigh 2+ tons. Because they've got all the batteries in them and all the...
Yeah, they have to store the energy. But this thing's cool. I mean, this thing was... it was in the first episode of the Stick Drift Podcast. We talked about this thing being revealed and the bad engine sound and how the muscle cars were going to EV now. And I don't think anyone's followed suit just yet, so Dodge is starting that trend. There's Mustangs, Camaros, the other Dodge that...
Yeah, the other one.
I can't think of any other muscle car. In fact, we had to have the whole debate that was like, is it even a muscle car still if it's EV? I think the only thing making it a muscle car at that point is just the heritage of it, right? It's just the fact that it's the name of a Dodge Charger. It's the name of a Challenger. It's built beefy looking, which I'm sure doesn't help the weight. But we also, speaking of goofy looking, not the exact same thing, close enough. We talked about this on the last episode of the Stick Drift Podcast. Actually, this is an update to something we talked about last episode, and that is from Car Throttle, the Bugatti shoes. Or more
they're not even shoes, they're football boots.
Yeah, more specifically, the Bugatti dasses. I mean, this is entirely for a European audience, because, I mean, you couldn't wear these for American football or whatever Americans play, right?
They do play soccer
Yeah,
over
but
there.
it's nowhere near the level, is it? I mean, as far as I'm aware, anyone in America who's into football watches the British football, not American soccer. But maybe
Yeah.
American soccer's bigger than I think it is. Also, why does it have Renault badges on it? Am I going crazy? It's got Renault badges in the Adidas stripes.
They're not really Renault patches, but
Am I bad? That's a Renault badge. What are you talking about? There is Renault badges right there. I'm not going insane. That is that. Okay, whatever. But
guys
yes,
just seen Renault badges and everything now. He's lost it.
we got the reveal of the Bugatti Dasses. They're just like
They're regular Adidas football boots,
Yeah.
but with blue on them.
yeah. So they got like a blue line going through them. Renault badges in the 3 stripes. It's got an Adidas X Bugatti like logos on it, obviously. Then it's got impossible is nothing. Create the incomparable. See, that's something I want to be wearing when I'm playing football. I'm proving that I'm creating the incomparable.
As fast as a Chiron. Whoa.
Exactly. I'm missing the net just like Bugatti misses the mark. Okay, that meant to be a compliment, but I missed. I sort of fumbled that. I missed the mark there. But it's not even to go with a certain car. It's just Adidas Bugatti shoes. I mean, companies do this, as far as I'm aware. Like, Ducati does just so many bikinis and just, like, T-shirts and stuff as well.
Ducati and Harley Davidson are those 2 brands that are just...
Yeah.
I think Harley Davidson makes more in merch than they do in actual bikes, and I don't think Ducati's far off.
Ducati, absolutely. I mean, I knew because in my class, used to be in accounting, was someone who worked at a Ducati dealership, or not a Ducati dealership, but a dealership of motorcycles. And yeah, she had a bunch of Ducati clothes because they just make so much. Lamborghini has a phone, but I think that's in-house.
Porsche has a phone too. It's one of those things that
Are they collabs?
they have a phone. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I doubt they want to build the
The
infrastructure.
Porsche one was a
themselves.
Huawei collab, as far as I'm aware.
And then, yeah, I mean, obviously the other guys have them as well. The Lamborghini. Other companies probably do them. Specifically, like, clothing like this. I mean, you do see car clothing, but it's normally just that. It's not like... I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you don't see...
No one wears it, is the issue. If they do sell it, no one cares.
Yeah, I don't think you see like Nike McLarens though, right? Like for an example, this is the first.
I saw an
time I'm
Under
seeing
Armour
this.
Vauxhall thing the other day, and I thought that was interesting.
Okay,
but...
no, I want an Under Armour Vauxhall. That sounds actually.
I'd
pretty
assume
cool.
it was just like Vauxhall workwear, but they were made by Under Armour. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was stripped out in it. So.
I mean, I did say when they were teasing this, I thought it might have been a car, but I guess
not.
that would have been too much to do. I did say that this would be in Motorfest. Who knows? Maybe they'll add the shoes in.
This would be a great clothing item for the custom show reward.
Exactly, right? Put it in the European month. Then we have, what is this? From The Drive, Audi will paywall more software features starting next year.
They're just doing a BMW.
Disgusting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Average BMW moment.
And
there.
Mercedes done the same thing? I swear Mercedes have done the same thing.
They threatened to. I don't know if they actually did end up going through with it.
Yeah. Like, I think one of them got backlash. I thought BMW got backlash as well. They're not.
Everyone gets, but KTM does it as well. But KTM baits you into it. You get a trial.
Yeah.
You get 1,600 free in quotation mark miles of using all the features, and then you have to buy their like KTM Plus plan to get access to all of them.
That is so gross. Because it's like it's stuff that's in the car.
Yeah, you've paid for it. You own
Like-
the tag. You own it.
It's stuff like BMW
Heated seats.
Heated seats, right? It's stuff. Surely you could override that. Would it be legal to override those?
Warranty.
Surely. Oh yeah, warranty, sure, but I don't know. Just
But
get
yeah,
it
like once
done.
these cars are out of warranty, you're just gonna have, I don't know, Bob down the street with his OBD2 flashing device. It's just gonna
Yeah.
you got heated seats now.
Like done.
Unless they're gonna
right?
verify it over code things.
Hmm.
Like
But
if they can see on your BMW account that you have heated seats
yeah.
on, but you haven't paid for it, they're gonna send a hit squad to your house or
Like, yeah,
something. I don't
what
know.
could they even do with that, though? I mean, I guess they'd have your banking details, so they could just, like, start charging you or they send you letters and whatnot.
They
But,
could not software update the car or the sat nav and stuff like that, I guess,
oh, yeah,
until
I guess
you
they could, like,
pay
soft
for it.
lock you, essentially. That is,
Yeah.
oh, this is such a scummy,
Yeah,
I
and it's
mean,
only going to get more and more popular because it
devil's
makes money.
advocate, I understand it devil's advocate wise, because it's like, you know, once someone starts reselling a car here and there, you know, they're not making a profit anymore. You know, I mean, I guess that's a part of it, you know?
Imagine you spent £160,000 on a BMW M8 competition, and
Yeah.
you can't use your heated seats because you have to
You
pay a
gotta pay
subscription
£20 a
fee.
month.
It's £160,000 car. It should come with that
Yeah.
as. It comes with them. Like,
It
what?
does.
It comes
It does
with the
come
heated
with
seats.
them.
You just have to pay to use them.
It's so gross to put something in a car that you can't use specifically to then be like, hey, you're only going to be able to use this if you pay us. We're putting it in here to... the warranty thing is annoying as well, because I was like, couldn't you just remove those things from the car? They better not advertise stuff like heated seats on cars like those. They better not be like...
I mean, it's pretty much an assumption that anything over £25,000-30,000 has heated seats as standard.
I guess they
You
don't...
would struggle to find a
Yeah.
car without that as standard these days.
But I guess they don't. So then they don't have to mention it. So then, you know, then they don't. Then they can just spring trap the subscription service on you. And now Audi's doing it. It seems to be a very German-led thing. And I think, from historic evidence, I don't think we should let the Germans lead much of anything, preferably. But in other news, this
Great
probably
end of segment.
yeah, I know. Speaking of Germans leading things into being other things and changing presidents, well, Porsche has been caught testing their brand new 911 Turbo S, which
What?
has one interesting thing. One, I know I've started a list after saying it's only got one interesting thing, which doesn't really make any sense. The not interesting things are its body. It's just a Porsche. Like,
Yeah, it's got a different front grille and a different exhaust placement and a spoiler.
I don't like the front grille either. Like, you see, it's got
No.
this like weird like fins going inwards thing. I'd rather just
I'd
a
imagine
grill.
they're active aero like on the BMW. 'Cause
Okay, that might be
when we get onto
cooler.
this thing, it's got late air. It'll open it up to cool the batteries.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, if
Stuff
they
like
go
that.
fully forward, maybe, right? And I don't know, maybe if you're going around a turn, they angle to catch more wind. I don't know.
They are. Why would they do that?
I don't know if that even does
They
something.
angle themselves to be as unaerodynamic as humanly possible. Yeah, it's like a great feature. I really want my Porsche to have that.
Putting stuff like active aero on like a mediocre sports car to buy, right? Like the Porsche is the generic sports car. You buy.
Do you know how much a
No,
911
I know
Turbo
they're
S
a lot.
costs?
I know they are so much money.
Mediocre.
I get that, right? But it's not
It
exactly.
better have active aero for 130 grand. They
It's
take
not
over chauffeur.
exactly a McLaren, though, right? Like, it's not exactly a Lambo, a McLaren. It's still a Porsche, the common man's sporty,
Oh man,
the sporty car, right? So it just feels weird to put stuff like active aero on a car like this. Like, imagine,
You say that as if Peugeots haven't had active aero for like as long as I can remember.
have they?
Okay.
Okay.
Literally every car maker has active aero of some kind now.
You know what they need? I need like the newest. What's a ratty hatchback? Who still makes a hatchback? A Clio, right? I need a modern Clio.
Yeah, go for Clio. Go get Clio. Yeah, really rad.
Hood flaps. I need hood flaps. I need fender flaps. I need like the thing should look like a hedgehog when you slam on the brakes. I need like that kind of active
The
aero.
windscreen goes like that, flat, the wind comes out.
Yeah, like that's what I need. That's the active aero we deserve.
All the doors open, fully like fly against the air, like
the
air brakes.
The doors fully open. Yeah, there's a surprise. The tires all go facing forward. The rims.
Bonnet opens. That'd
Bonnet opens forward, obviously.
be yeah.
That's the kind of active aero we need.
I'm assuming it's active aero, because if it's not, it's actually just horrendous.
Oh yeah, yeah. And on the rear, it's got a custom spoiler, which looks very similar to an edition spoiler in Motorfest, and its exhausts are a bit closer, noticeably closer. It's whatever though. It's still just a basic Porsche.
In this image here, you can see how much the difference in wheel size between the rear and the front.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
it's insane. Yeah. I will say, the front looks way flatter. Way flatter than the average Porsche. Like, I feel like it's got like hurricane angle rather than like older 911 GT 3RS angle. Like,
the GT3 RS is not a normal 911.
Is it not? Okay, right.
I don't know what it looks like. It just looks like the old 911 Turbo S to me with a different front bumper.
Yeah. Maybe I've just not seen them in a while.
Comparing like a... the GT3 RS is Lamborghini price. So...
Okay, yeah. But yeah, this thing, it goes in and it's very, very flat on the front. It makes the headlights even look very flat. There's like one flat Porsche, which is the... I guess the 928 or the Coupe Baby, but it looks akin to those two, compared to like the 959, which was a real angled, whatever. But there's something more important about this car, something a bit more interesting. Porsche's been doing a bunch of EVing for a while now. They've done the Taycan. I'd say they lucked out insanely on that became like a token EV car. I imagine they were cheering in Porsche HQ. Then they've recently cancelled the Macan and are doing a Macan EV. And they've been testing the Boxster EV. Both to probably be revealed very soon, as we've talked about on the podcast. They were revealed, were caught testing a while ago. This thing here, though, is hybrid. Meaning all 911s made from now are going to be hybrid, the new ones.
I don't think the GT3 and GT2 and all that won't be.
Okay.
I think those are going to be their exclusive high-end models, but normal 911s are still a lot of money. A normal 911 is going to be a hybrid from now on.
The thing is, I feel like it's a stepping stone thing, right? I think they've got the Taycan.
I think it's because I think they said they would never make the 911 electric, and I think this is them.
Oh, did they? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, no one would buy it.
Yeah, so. I think this is. I think it's doubling back. It's easing into it because I reckon they do the Taycan.
I think they're reading between lines and regulations.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think they're allowed to sell hybrid vehicles after 2035 in the EU.
Yeah.
I think. So I think this is their way of skirting around the combustion ban entirely.
I mean, thankfully BMW's helping with just skirting that whole thing with synthetic, but this thing is, of course, now hybrid. So Porsche will very soon have not only the Taycan, Macan, and Boxster trio all being EV now, right? The Taycan being from the Panamera, so I'm maybe expecting the Macan and Boxster to also be renamed. But this thing being hybrid, you know what? Porsche's got, except for the ones that all look the same, Porsche's got a pretty interesting lineup currently. It's looking a lot more spicy than it probably did pre-Taken, right? Pre-Taken, it was just all 911 Boxster, Panamera being the only slightly different one, but still just looked like.
I mean, I say the Macan looked a bit different to the Boxster.
I mean, yeah, also that, yeah. But the Macan and the Cayman looking the exact same as well, right? Now, there's the Cayman, which will be its own thing and not EV, but then there'll also be the Macan EV, and then the 911 Hybrid, and the Boxster EV, and the Taycan, and the Taycan Wagon. Porsche's doing a bit of they're redeeming themselves in my eyes, I will say. They're getting closer and closer to not being...
It's just going to be a heavier 911.
Yeah. I mean, that's the... Maybe it isn't, though. Maybe it's good. But...
Well, they've made the battery and all the motors weigh nothing. That would be true innovation if they managed that.
Right. But I think it's time. Well, I mean, saying that Porsche is good now would indeed be a car hot take. And AR.
That's not even the slightest of a hot take. People beg for Porsche the second they get in the
I
comments.
guess Porsche suck would be the hot take.
Yeah.
So, AR12 Nick, big Forza content creator, tweeted, "What car opinion has you like this?" I'll go first. Minivans are cool. And I think it's good that we could talk about.
Where's the line of minivan and not minivan?
True. I mean, there's
UK, well, DVLA themselves like to lump them into different categories.
There's this, right? There's these kind of things which someone put in the replies. It's like a big wagon. So I'll give it that, you could probably do something cool with a minivan. You could, but they're also very generic cars as well. They're very, very... But, like I mentioned, the Stick Drift podcast is known for never, ever having a bad opinion. We are always known for having good opinions, and never have bad ones, actually. So, the best thing to do is to run through some of these hot takes. Every Jeep Wrangler should be incinerated with a nuclear bomb.
I don't think that's a hot take, to be honest.
I saw a bunch...
Every time I see one on the road, it's just like, no, please don't.
I saw a bunch like this, which were stuff like, automatic transition is cool, and another one that was like, obsessing over manual transmission is cringe, and people who idolize manual transition suck, is one that I saw floating around a bunch. And I back them, and I stand.
Those are really an American perspective, though, because until I'd say the last 5 years, nobody drove an automatic in the EU.
Yeah.
Like in the UK, you couldn't buy most cars in automatic.
I mean,
and now it's got to the point where the UK and Europe have sort of done a rotated on that perspective, because automatic versions of regular cars are now worth more.
Oh, yeah.
Like an automatic Clio or a Civic is worth about 2-3 grand more than a manual, because
they didn't sell them.
Old people exist and they want to drive an automatic. Well, no one brought automatics back in the day, and now they want one, and now they're a lot of money.
Yep. I mean, supply and demand, I suppose.
Yep, it basically is, yeah.
Car people whose entire personality revolves around, I'm quirky and interesting because I hate brackets popular car and love brackets unpopular car / car I deem underrated, are some of the most obnoxious people to talk about cars with. I mean, I'm probably into, there's stuff like...
I get the perspective, though, because, like, an S2000 is a good car. It's a cool car. But for what people want from these days, it's not. Like, it's simply priced to what you're actually getting. A rusty 100,000 mile S2000 is a £10,000 car in today's day and age.
Yeah.
They aren't worth that. You're getting, 230 something horsepower in a 2-seater rear-wheel drive car. You get a 350, which makes more power.
Yeah.
And it will be half the price. But because it's not got a Honda badge on it, or it's not got a VTEC, it's not 10 grand.
I will say, though, I do kind of get it, because there's, like, the Supra, right? I think the Supra is a cool car, but I don't want to think the Supra is a cool car, because there's so many people who are endlessly like, oh, the Supra is so epic, the Supra's great, the Supra's the best GTM car.
It's the fear of being lumped in with those lot.
Yeah, like, and then I don't want to, and that makes me want to, like, counter with the kind of thing that this one's from Shiny Odds. That makes me want to counter with being like, actually, the Supra sucks. But it's like, I don't think it sucks. I just don't like it that much and don't want to be lumped in there. But obviously, some people then end up going into I think it sucks actually, which is I suppose what Shiny on is saying it suck as the type of people.
I
that
like
suck
the
to
bottom
talk
bit
about.
before it cuts off. They said the Mark II MX-5's better than the Mark 1. I would agree with that statement.
Damn. But yeah.
It's again, it's,
Mm.
yeah.
Most cars aren't unreliable. People are just bad at maintaining them.
That is just true, though. I believe that 100%. If you change the oil every
Yeah.
5,000 miles or once every year, an engine, and as long as you all the perishables on time, according to the service book, an engine will last forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just people who change their oil once every 3 years and just don't do timing belts and don't replace brake fluid or coolant when it, because you meant to replace coolant and brake fluid every 4 years.
Yeah.
No one does it. So when the coolant rushed the engine block, why has it done this? Car bad. Didn't change it.
Yeah. I mean, don't you have to rebuild an engine though? Surely that's a sign that they're unreliable. If I had to
Ignoring Mazda and Mazda's rotary engines,
Yeah.
then no, engines should theoretically last forever.
Okay, I mean if I
Turbos,
had to...
I would say a turbo is.
Yeah.
Turbos will break. They just the way they work. They will. You might be able to get 200,000 miles out of them, but I'd say that's the top end.
I mean, if your car has a turbo in it, you've probably spent enough money on it to not
You
have
say it
to...
as if a base model Corsa doesn't have a turbo.
Does it? Oh,
Yeah. Everything has a turbo these days.
See?
You would struggle to buy a naturally aspirated engine in
Making
the year 2023.
cars unreliable because they have turbos in
Yeah.
them, see? That's
But
how...
if you have a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with a timing belt, as long as you do maintenance on time, the engine will last forever. Like it.
Then the old 90s, early 2000s max power cars are something that should be respected, not hated. There are very little of them, and there have for the audio for the audio listeners, I put one on screen. There are very little of them left, and thousands of hours put into them. Additionally, they are now rather valuable due to their uniqueness.
This is just nostalgia. Like this
You
does not
reckon?
look cool to me. That is that an Astra sedan.
It looks like a
Astra
awful,
sedan goes
yeah.
kind of hard. I can't lie.
I guess, yeah. But I don't know. They look...
It's just nostalgia speaking for that. People were around when they were cool.
I understand
They
how
aren't
it's
cool
nostalgia.
anymore.
Yeah, like, that is cool in a nostalgic way. Like, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't go to that thing first. I wouldn't really think it's cool. But I'd be like, oh, like the thing from back then. And I'd notice it for that, but... I don't know if it needs respect.
The time has passed.
Yeah. But then the general public purchase a new car way too frequently. I mean, I will say for this one, I noticed new, like, especially with the Abarth 500e, which actually, by the way, I've been getting TikTok ads about that. Like, it's like a woman being like generic, like, rollerblades, 70s outfit, coffee in one hand kind of woman, being like, I got a 500e because I got a £5,000 grant to get it. That's what it is. It's they're paying £5,000.
Yeah.
That's why everyone has an E. And like I was saying, when the E came out, the 500e, I noticed way too many of those.
I mean, you've got to think of it from the perspective of old people are the people who can afford new cars in the UK, at least. No one under the age of 25 is buying a new car ever. And when they walk into the dealership, and one, they see £5,000 off. That's an immediate.
Exactly.
I'm looking at that, and then on top of it, they want something that's just easy to drive, cheap to run, low maintenance. They're just gonna buy a 500e.
Yeah. Oh, wagons are overhyped. I would absolutely no, you know what? I might be inclined to agree.
Buying a wagon when you will never use it as intended is a waste of time and money.
In the other way as well, I'll say that wagons are cool, but I think people say wagons are cool too much and not acknowledge that a lot of wagons aren't cool. Because there's generic BMW wagons. There's, like, so many different companies make wagons that just suck. Like, the Astra. There's an Astra wagon. I think you can do something cool to the Astra wagon, but
like they make an Astra Turbo wagon, which is cool.
That'd probably be cool, but there's so many wagons that aren't cool. There's like a handful that
think of it though. What is the average wagon target market? Someone who wants a cheap car to throw stuff in the back of.
Yeah.
They're not gonna buy a nice wagon. They're gonna buy sort by price, lowest. So that's why you get an A-class wagon, because they're not gonna make an S-class wagon. Because no one's gonna buy it.
I mean,
that's why you get like a Corsa and an Astra wagon. You don't get an Insignia wagon anymore because no one would buy it.
Yep. I mean, I suppose from the car audience though is where I would go. I kind of get them being overhyped because the car audience goes, yeah, wagons are great.
Oh yeah,
right?
People hype up wagons.
Yeah,
they're vehicles you buy if you need to transport big items frequently.
And for actually cool ones like
the RS6.
Yeah, like the RS6. There's other like the Skyline wagon. They're like 1 in 50 are actually I'd say like 1 in 30 are actually a good wagon that deserves the hype. Wagons as a whole, I'd actually agree with that, even though I really like wagons.
I mean, the majority of wagons, if you've got an Auto Trader, are diesel front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Because that's the target market. People want them to transport big items long distances as cheaply as possible.
Yeah.
You don't, 99.9% of people who buy a wagon aren't buying an RS6, aren't buying like an RS4 or a Taycan Turbo. They're buying a diesel Peugeot 508, what's it called, sports wagon or whatever they call it.
Yep.
In a 1.6 litre diesel configuration, so they can chuck their dog in the back and go down the park. 90% of wagons on the road aren't cool.
Yeah.
They are work vehicles.
Yep. All cars from the 90s are problem cars now. If you expect a reliable anything from the 1990s, give it up. You ain't getting it. Your take on the 1990s?
It's kind of true. Rubber has a shelf life.
Yeah.
And at what point does, like, everything rubber if an engine from the 1990s showed up today, I had never been driven, everything rubber would need replacing. But nobody does, is the issue. You'll buy a 1990s car and expect it to work like a 2010 car. You need to replace coolant hoses, vacuum lines, fuel lines, brake lines, everything rubber. All the gaskets on the engine need replacing.
Yep.
And if you don't do that, it will not be reliable. And you need to, if it's not had oil changes in those, 1990 is 34 years ago now?
Yeah.
If it's not had regular maintenance, it will be damaged from running being run abused for 34 years.
Yeah.
If an engine from 1990 has had oil change, oil filter, all the maintenance done on time, on schedule, everything rubber in the car has been replaced. Wheel bearings, all the bearings are done. It'll be reliable. But it's not economically viable to do that.
Well, what about rust as well, right? Rust is an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you live in the UK, we made a rust.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a welder and about 5 tons of sheet metal you can weld onto the car, it's crap.
Yeah. This one is from Alex7. It's the BMW M2 is the best looking modern BMW. He means
modern. He has a good argument because name a good-looking BMW they sell today.
I mean, I would say
M8's a boat. The M4, M5. Do they even sell an M5 anymore?
I mean, the M8 is a bit goofy, but I don't mind the M8. Like, I mean, compare.
Have you seen one IRL?
I mean, yes, I have. We both have. You rode it.
That's the competition. I'm talking about the sort. I suppose.
I mean, that thing. I mean, if it's close enough, that thing looks.
The competition
nice.
is a joke. If you buy an M8 competition IRL, give up your license. Horrible car.
But what other modern BMWs even are there? Also, my alarm's going. We could talk
You
about
get the
them.
base models. You get all the. What do they do? The one series is terrible because everyone buys the 116 diesel, which is a joke of a car. You get the 2 series, 3 series. It looks better than any non-M BMW, and I would argue it's better than. I don't like any modern BMWs. The issue.
There is ones that like are done.
I just think it's the lesser of 8 evils.
I guess if there was like the done up ones are pretty nice. The ones that are actually like the GT whatever or the canards, all of that stuff. Absolutely. But you're telling me, okay, like new M4, right? Like this.
I don't know what the new M4 looks like.
It's about to be on screen. Okay, no, maybe I'm wrong here. This one. I mean, look,
That is horrible.
I don't like this shape, though. This shape is just so odd. It's so strange. Like, the way it's so square, and then it's got, like, the snouts. What is this?
I don't like it, but I like... Yeah, I don't know. I think that's... Where'd you put the number plate on this? I'd assume it goes there.
Yeah, but, like, that looks so empty. Like, what is that supposed to be? It's...
But yeah, I don't like any modern BMW at all.
I could maybe... You know what? Maybe I'm inclined to... I don't know.
I prefer it over anything else they make, but I don't like anything they make.
It's unique,
so it's just
I
kind
guess. I mean...
It doesn't have the pigs now, I think, is what does it for me. It just
is that
doesn't
what it is,
look
that it doesn't have the...
terrible.
Yeah. I mean, the i8, do they sell the i8 anymore? I don't know. Okay, well,
I saw that for ages.
The i8 was cool, I guess. Other than that, no, I mean, I guess so. I mean, the old M2 was fine, really. The old M2 was a bit smaller. This one here, and it didn't have pig snouts either. This thing was what it replaced. Right?
I think they look like for how much they cost, they're too generic.
I guess, yeah.
Like that does not look like a £70,000 car.
That's a £70,000 car. What are you talking about?
I think the M2's 68.
Okay. I mean, might as well be £70,000 at that point. I mean, it just doesn't look like a BMW either, really. Like, it looks like a Watch Dogs traffic AI car.
£62,000. Okay, that's not terrible.
Yeah. It just I can't.
That is terrible. Actually, I wouldn't pay 60. I wouldn't pay 40 grand for this.
I mean, they've given it some angles as well. This is from BMW UK's website. They're trying to make it look good. The back of this car as well. Like,
shows you how big it is. Look how tiny the number plate is on that thing.
Yeah.
On the front image.
Yeah. This thing looks minuscule.
Massive car.
I mean, what does that... Like, okay, right. So if all the other BMWs start looking like this, it's looking bleak for BMW. Like, it's...
I mean, I don't like any of their cars at the minute anyway. Like, I mean,
if the way each one is relative to the other, like, if a brand new M8 comes out and it's this, but big, beefy, and more rotund, if they do the i7 and it looks like this instead of the regular
i7. But the i7 is
just
kind of a standout, I think, is its point.
Hopefully, because if it ends up being like this, but its own thing, it's going to be monstrous.
I've never seen an M2. Like, have you seen one yet?
Well, the new one? No,
yeah.
No, I haven't seen one at all.
It's been out for like a year now, I think.
That's it?
Yeah. No one's bought one yet, I don't think.
Yeah, but I just think this thing looks so not a BMW, so odd. And I guess we'll see when more BMWs look like this, maybe I'll understand. Speaking of, BMW drivers are not bad drivers, is a hot take here.
Oh,
Go on, BMW anecdote.
It's German brand drivers in general.
Yeah.
I think it's just the type of person who buys one.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not top spec ones like this. It's not M series. It's like your 116D and your base model ones. Because people buy them for the badge and think they have an M car. And then drive like they have an M car. The amount of times I've been carred by someone in a base model 3 series drives me insane. It's Audis as well.
Yeah.
Base model Audis do it all the time as well. You don't have an M series or like an RS, but just stop.
Yeah. I mean, it's the BMWs don't indicate. Is that an actual thing?
That's just you've been in the car with me. That's just average UK drive on a roundabout. To be
True.
honest, no one indicates.
Ford Fiesta is some of the best cars ever made, and I would back that one.
Did Alfie write this one?
You don't need more than 300 horsepower on a street car. I mean, yeah, takes out the fun. I mean, the point is that you get like a whoa.
I mean, on the UK roads.
True.
If Dylan floored it in first gear, he would spin, and his has 270.
No.
Like you can't on UK roads with the UK weather. You can't really use more than 300 wheel horsepower. Wheel horsepower, I will say, because that's what about 330, about 350 crank. I'd say, yeah.
American cars can take corners.
I mean, the newer ones can.
I'm sure the new Corvette can.
The like Shelby GT500 and all that are actually quite good track cars.
Are they? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they'd come around.
They have such wide tires with such a wide body. With how grippy modern performance tires are. They can actually kind of turn.
These guys got a few. Stance cars are cool. What's a stance car? It's
stance car like camber like this.
Oh,
no, I disagree with that one, but yeah.
They're a bit goofy. I get it, but they're a bit goofy.
I can understand doing it on a car that would never perform well.
Yeah.
But taking a performance or a sports car and ruining any aspect of drivability for looks makes no sense to me. Just get an Astra at that point.
It is possible to respect everyone's builds, but if you don't, I'm not gonna chase you on it. I mean, sure, that seems like just a bit
down quick. I didn't even have a counterpoint to that one, yeah.
It seems like a bit of a nerdy opinion. It's just like, actually, you cannot like them, but respect it, please. And if you don't respect it, that's okay as well, actually. That's a bit of a non-opinion.
It's not even an opinion. He's just made a statement, then backed down from that statement about 5 milliseconds after he said it.
It's a lot of stuff like, actually, this is a good-looking vehicle, and this look is a good-looking vehicle.
Yeah, there probably is a lot.
But this one caught my eye. The Pontiac Aztec is a very, very good-looking vehicle.
They're wrong. Why is the roof bar the wrong way around? Why is it on the front and on the back, not going down the side?
It'd have to go on sideways.
What, you mount your roof box at a 90-degree angle? What's the point of that?
How are you making it through like a tunnel if you've got a rounder roof box? Fewer people deserve driver's licenses. The person that when we were going to cinema, that pulled out at me on the roundabout. Yeah. Oh my god! Take away their license now. How? I'm in a bright red car. You can't see me. Just give up. Modern SUVs are just minivans with the nose modeled like a truck, so men don't feel emasculated having to drive one. No. Have you sat in an SUV? Yeah. Which one? Ages ago now, but like a Mitsubishi, big one of the bigger, that's more of an off-roader, I'd say. Was it what they called? Like one of the big beefy ones. There was also another. That's sort of like Land Rover though. Is it like Defender sort of thing? Yeah. Not Range Rover Evoque. Oh, I'm more on about like Evoque style cars, like the Peugeots and the Moccas. There was also this, because there was a big type of Mitsubishi, but there was also one of these just regular types of Mitsubishis, unless they're still... That is an SUV, that is. Yeah. So I've been in one of these. I don't think they have any... They're not... A Vauxhall Zafira from like 2007 will have more interior space and more seat room overall than any SUV on the market. Unless you're an American, you can get an Escalade that's about 8 nautical miles long because they're allowed to sell that to the general public for some reason. But yeah, like I think every single SUV I've ever sat in has had less interior space than the sedan model. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Because it's it's just, you lose... It's just not good. You lose headroom. You lose width. Yeah. Because the car's bigger. But it's bigger because it's And
yeah,
then
don't buy SUVs.
They model the front so I don't feel emasculated. I couldn't have one of those, what was it? Feminine minivans. Grrr.
They were called MPVs in the UK because, yeah, it makes more sense.
But the purpose, this is an interesting one. The purpose of cars is to transport you. Anything else and everything else is marketing BS. It's a weird one, right? Because it's like, you could say a computer. The purpose of a computer is to run whatever, but people will still go over the top and put water cooling on it and whatever else on it. The purpose of clothes is to...
It depends on the car, I would say. Because, like, my Clio, that was never built for anything other than to drive you from point A to point B, and it is clear when you're driving it.
Yeah.
But stuff like, what would be an example? Like a VX220, for example.
Yeah.
It has no air conditioning, no heat. It is just 2 seats, an engine, and a steering wheel. I just even have power steering. The purpose of that car was to drive for enjoyment, not to drive for transport. It really depends on the car.
And I guess that's what she's calling the BS as well, but I'd also think, like, brand stuff, right? Like, the purpose of clothes is to cover your body, but then you get styles and genres of clothes and types of clothes and
I think a better analogy would be a monitor. Like, a monitor is a display output, but you can buy monitors with extra features on it or less features depending if you want a game on it. So you can get like an ultra wide with high refresh rate or higher resolution. Yeah.
And
if you buy whatever's on the screen now, you ain't doing much sporty driving in that, I can tell you.
True, yeah, true. You're not doing much of the Mitsubishi Outlander.
Understeer machine by the looks of it.
Yeah. But I do get it to a degree, right? I mean, originally they made the one Ford or whatever, and then they realized that, hang on a minute, now we've made this thing, everyone just gets this thing and doesn't buy anything else. So then they added colors to cars. And then they added extra features and extra things and more and more things just to make people want to get your car over the other car.
There are cars that I would describe as toys. Like any Caterham.
Yeah.
It is a car, yes. By definition and really.
Yeah, right.
It is a toy.
I mean that's the thing, right? It's like it's that almost falls outside of this scope. It's like that's such a specific sort of separated car because it's just built for like a track. It's just built for having fun there. I would say that one, all in all, is not at all made for transport. That one is just made for doing that. You know, you could say the same thing for planes. You know, but then people have the mini rickety planes that they fly around themselves and whatnot. It's just sort of there can be different purposes, and you can admit it's very Apple with
a car
some
stuff,
that's
good for transport isn't good for performance driving.
Yeah. But there's
like
also...
I imagine an RS6 is somewhere in between because it's great practicality while it's probably okay on track. Yeah. Where a Lotus, what's the new one? Emira. Like an Emira is probably a fun track car. I imagine it'd be hell to daily drive.
Yeah. But there's also the brandisms of it, right? Like this brand, you want the JDM and you want this one with the cool headlights and you want our car because it comes in space yellow and it comes with trademark crab walk Hummer trademark. I suppose I can understand criticizing that capitalistic nature of cars where it's just sort of get cool one. And I mean, I'm subject to that, right? I want a Audi RS6 and a cool JDM car, you know? So it's I'm subject to it as well. But, you know, it adds something, you know? Cars are a very little thing. It adds an extra thing. People find enjoyment in it. People find happiness in it. And I think that's all right if you find more joy in the cars being a more unique thing than anything else. Right? You get stuff like makeup. Makeup's purpose is to conceal and add or whatever makeup's I'm the wrong guy to be talking about this.
How have you gone to makeup? That is.
I don't know. It's a counter. All right, but then people will.
Any other subject.
But then people make art with makeup as well. They make artsy things. They make their face look like it's some whatever, or they do a whatever, or they put yellow eyeliner on or something. You know. That's an analogy.
That is an analogy of all time.
But it was the best counter I had. I can understand that though. And I think that's almost all. Manual is shit, automatic is superior. Seeing that's the last one, we'll say that's correct.
I'm surprised there's no front wheel drive, rear wheel drive ones in there.
There might have been. I didn't find any then. I mean, if you find your favorite ones out of these, you can bring up some next episode if you run through the quote tweets on this while I'm at the gym, I suppose.
Here you go, Jim.
Yeah, I will. In fact, no one's even gonna hear or see me going gym. They're just gonna go straight into the gaming segment. The gaming segment of the Stick Drift podcast? Where has that come from? What's going on, boys? I say that as if I'm introing it. This is going to be right in the middle of the video. I forget that. Yeah, no, I just had to go gym and back. But welcome to the final segment of the Stick Drift podcast, where we take a moment at the end of the episode to talk about everything going on in gaming as well as motorsports in the world of cars. And there's actually some breaking news, actually. Which, hey, maybe they should always be a Monday, Tuesday, I don't know, excuses. But, breaking news in the world of gaming today. So, Josh, you know, for one, Motorfest has, it's in the new month. It's in its, European month, the last of this main stage. And of this season, it's the last main stage of the season. Next time, we're getting, the Hoonigan.
Yeah.
Hoonigan is the next thing to be in Motorfest. So, there's probably hype for that. We'll probably start seeing stuff about it. Actually, in fact, we have seen stuff about it. They have teased the Hoonigan update in the most recent main stage video. But not the official version of it. Instead, just in the YouTube and Instagram versions. They show off, one, the new Summit car, the Rubicon Edition Huayra coming back, the Mini that you get for some reason, and they also have shown off the first look at the Hoonigan update, which Hoonigan themselves confirmed would be a area of the map with a Hoonigan playground, and that is our first look at it. It's a massive Hoonigan sign. It's got the square brackets. It's got the Hoonigan. It's got the terrible traffic AI cars parked in the bottom left.
Crew on AI cars. They make it.
Yeah, exactly. It's got the big Hoonigan balloon, which is presumably the balloon for the actual the playlist. So the playlist is going to be at the actual area, the new area. And it looks pretty cool, to be fair. But more cool, I guess, because we can't see much of the new area, is the fact that we've seen the Mustang 19... one of them revealed. The Mustang that is the Hoonicorn has been shown off for the first time ever. It's got the Kill All Tires, Hoonigan, and American Racing, something like that. Sponsorships on it. It's apparently one of the newer liveries, as far as I'm aware. It's got a bunch of other cool stuff in the teaser, but that's all very, very small and unseeable. But yes, currently we're in the European with 2 new Ferraris being added 2 days from now, 1 day from now.
Yeah, well, yeah. 1 day from when this goes up, but yeah.
Yeah, so 2 new Ferraris, the SF90 and the 308. And that's about it. Rubicon to get this month, and Crew 2.
So much content this month.
Crew 2 has an actually good Summit car for once. It's got like a cool outline, artsy looking, unbound looking RX-7 FC, and it's actually really cool. So there's that, and that sweetens this week up a little bit because we didn't get the Ferraris. European was underwhelming. The RX-7 definitely sweetens the deal on it all.
Yeah.
Probably the better thing out of all of it, plus the teaser for Hoonigan. Then, Need for Speed. Gran Turismo, on the other hand, has gotten the Lexus LFA. They got a massive update that we talked about the other day. The last episode of the podcast. They got a massive update adding the LFA, the Tesla, 2 Dodges of some kind, Porsche 911 Summit, and a snow track to the game, which was pretty cool. I haven't played the snow track, but I played with the Tesla. I played very well, actually. I was driving really... I remember you saying specifically...
Some of the best gameplay I've ever seen. Like, it takes a skill to be that good at a game when you're first play. But,
exactly,
I mean, Sid has it.
Obviously, I jumped in. I got my black belt license straight away. I passed everything to get the black belt license.
Black belt.
I then instantly, it was natural to me, right? When you're so able to do things like this, it all just comes natural to you.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, I've just never seen someone that good at a game on their first playthrough. It's like you're naturally gifted at Gran Turismo.
Of course. Honestly, really, if you watch the video I made on it, you could have mistaken the gameplay for Dirt 4, because I was taking that Tesla off-road every single turn. Look,
I've never seen someone not anticipate understeer that much in a vehicle before. Look, like, every single corner, it was consistently understeering off the track. It's impressive.
What it is? I went back to Crew 2 as well, and I'm so much more easily able to make the turns, and you know why? It's because I can think about a turn and make a turn right at the turn in the Crew 2 with those physics. Even in Motorfest, if I'm not watching the map, like, I will understeer because I have to think about the turn so much earlier than when the turn is. I have to be braking, I have to get down to the right speed, wait for the car to get down to the right gear. Like, I didn't expect to have to think about that stuff. What is it? Some kind of
You always apex like 8
game?
years too early as well, so you end up going so wide for the corner anyway, and it doesn't help when he carried 30 mile an hour too much through the corner.
Yeah. But everyone's been giving a unanimous good to this update. Everyone's like, yeah, that's what I've seen. I've seen, like, game is amazing, actually. The game
Some
is
people in
so
the server
cool.
would disagree, but yeah.
Oh, well, that's what I heard. But now we move on to stuff that's gonna be a bit more fun to talk about. And that is the new Forza update. It starts with, hey, there's a bunch of cars. I think it's something to do with, they're on the 2nd year of Forza. So they announced a bunch of cars and stuff. I think the one we knew was the Lucid Air. That's coming into the game. We've got a Celine of some kind. We've got a Silverado of some kind. A van of some kind. Some of these are quite cool, to be fair. Here we go. So we got this van, which actually looks pretty damn cool. It's, I don't know what it is. It's,
I mean, I'd assume it's a Ford.
It's a 1961 Ford DeBerti Ford Econ line, whatever that means. We've got a Silverado. We got a
Hot Wheel?
2024 C Zinger? Like the KFC?
I was going to say, is it burger? What's going on there?
21C. What is that? Then, that thing again. Of course, Celine. I don't know what Celine it is. Celine S7 LM. So it's the LM, whatever. What, Le Mans is probably
the
what
LM version, what we got in the Crow.
Oh, do we already have this thing? Well, is it just like the racing version of the Celine?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
basically,
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense. So there's a fair few things, and I saw just a bunch of muscle cars. Like, I saw an image that just had so many muscle cars for their, like, weekly thing. And this is coming soon, I think. This will be the next weekly thing that they add, I imagine. C Zinger 21C. This is the American Automotive Car Pack. Celine S7 LM. Chevrolet Silverado. And then a couple other things. 8 new cars in the festival playlist. 4 new cars in the American DLC, $5. 3 new wide bodies. 27 new HRE wheels, whatever the heck that means. And 4 new permanent racetracks. Sure. Where are they putting those? I don't. Okay. But an oval track in free roam. That's kind of cool, I guess. That's pretty big, to be fair. That's more than the Crew 2 does. Actually, no, the Crew 2 did add 5 massive tracks.
We haven't seen one in Motorfest, I can tell you that. So.
Yeah. But then we come down to something very, very, very funny. Breaking news. Forza Horizon 5 is now receiving microtransactions. The car voucher lets players collect their favorite cars at their own pace. Players can buy vouchers with real-world money and exchange them for cars available at the auto show. It is running at four cars for $5, 10 cars for $9, and 24 cars for $20. That's a pretty good price. But this is the first time ever that Forza Horizon has introduced microtransactions, which people are clearly not very happy about.
It's not really much different to the car packs, is it, really?
Yeah, so that's what Forza used to do before, was the car packs. They'd have the £4 or whatever cars. It's better than Need for Speed, for one.
Well, they still have the car packs. So.
Yeah, I guess they've still got the car packs and this. It's also nice that it's an interesting way they've done this. I'm very much wondering what this will do to the economy of Forza, right? Because it's not you buy in-game money. You buy a currency that has a relative value to the in-game money. Like, you just pay $5 and all of a sudden you can buy something
that's...
£1
a car, basically.
Huh?
It's about £1 a car.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's £1 a car, but it's £1 for a Vauxhall Corsa, and it's also £1 for a Ford GT Le Mans 1 of 1. And that's what I'm very much wondering is going to do to things like the auto show.
I feel the economy in Force has been broken forever. Everyone's got tons of money now.
Yeah.
But I feel it's just going to drive down the price of high-value cars. And the cheap ones are just going to stay the same because no one's spending a car voucher on, like you said, a Corsa.
It's gonna be rough for that. I imagine it's only the auto show, so stuff that's the locked to the monthly and the weekly is going to probably still be locked behind that. Like I doubt you're gonna be able to get that. So stuff like the Alpine A110, apparently that's insanely rare. That you're not really gonna be able to get. That you're just gonna be able to buy all of the ratty cars, I suppose. I mean, there's a massive car list. Pardon me. What I'm hoping, right, is hopefully doing something like this means that in the future, say they make another game, they're not gonna remove half the car list when they do it. Because why remove half the car list when you can just get the players to pay for those very same cars? That's what I expect. Like, because before what they did was they removed half of them, then made half of them exclusive. But again, I feel like money is going to be worth a bit more than whatever.
I just see the point of adding this late into the game. No one's going to buy them.
I mean, the Crew 2 added the Motor Pass probably later than this same time frame. And
the Motor Pass.
It's
viable for in-game currency.
True. Now it is. And I mean, at the time you could get crew credits in game, but it's not the exact same thing. You're absolutely right. But introducing a new microtransaction system, not like a crazy thing, to be fair. It's just sort of like
I'm amazed I didn't have one before, and this is the most nothing way of doing it, really. It's just you can buy cars if you want for not a lot of money.
Yeah, it is insanely cheap. Like, it is... What's the Forza car list number? Because that is insanely cheap. Like,
700 cars, I think, something like that.
Yes, it probably sounds about right, because, I mean, the Crew's at 600 something, and I know Forza's much more than that. Like, it's a crazy number. And I will say, I do like that Forza adds body cars a lot of the time. Like, miscellaneous cars. As much as I don't care about the Silverado,
$583 to buy every car in game if it's 700.
Oh, yeah. That's. You know what? That's less than the crew, actually. In the crew, it would cost you.
Well, I mean, that's because buying cars with crew credits is the biggest scam in existence, is why.
Oh no, yeah, you know what it is? It's because it's relative. It's actually a relative pricing system. This is just every car is $1 roughly, so that's why. Unless you get the 24.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's based off the 24. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. So every car is just under $1 for in this case. In the crew, it's like I think it's just over £1,000 is how much it is. So that's pounds as well, right? I will say in pounds wise, this is even more of a bargain if they're actually adjusted for pounds and not just.
I mean, if it is adjusted, what it was $580, it'd probably be like $490.
Yeah. Did you say $580? It's $5. $4.99. I don't know where you got $5.80
I was
from.
basing off the 24.
Oh, the 24, right?
For
Yeah.
every car in the game.
Yeah,
it's
$20. It'd be about. I'd say it'd be like what, close to £15, I guess, for 24 cars. That's pretty alright. But people are obviously mad, and people are going to continue to be mad. And the big question comes down to why. Because in my head, the Crew 2 only really did it for Motorfest. So my thinking here is they are trying to up the scale of Horizon 6 way more than the budget is allowing, is what this looks like to me.
Microsoft don't need to do this to stay offline.
Yeah, but you could say Ubisoft didn't need to do
Have you seen Ubisoft's financial report? They need to.
Okay, but not at the time.
They're in
right?
the reds for like actually every project at the minute.
Well, at the time they didn't. I mean,
Yes, they did.
did they?
That was after the
started-
massive lawsuits.
I feel like it was just before. The Motorpass started 2020. End of 2020 was when
When
the
in
Motorpass
2019,
started.
they got sued for like 300 mil.
Oh, did they? Oh, that's impressive. I mean, try not to be a soulless corporation challenge, I suppose.
And I think there was
but,
another one for Assault. They lost 190 million. And then Skull and Bones is going to be one of their biggest financial losses of all time. Yeah, they're
I could've
losing money
sworn
left,
that
right,
was
and centre.
so much more recent than then, right? I mean, they probably had an Assassin's Creed
Ages
that did
ago.
well.
They got like accused in 2018. for
Was it
sexual
2018?
assault, Yeah.
Okay, well, the actual Blizzard stuff was definitely more recent, and that's the one that
Blizzard's-
overshadowed Ubisoft. So yeah, okay, I knew that Blizzard's whole lawsuit thing overshadowed Ubisoft. I didn't know Ubisoft's was so long ago. But
This
yeah,
was ages ago.
I guess Ubisoft struggling, but I don't know. I feel like even if Microsoft can afford this, from a business perspective, it still would feel like it's to do with that. Because it would, it justifies it. Because I imagine the way they run it is each one is its own cost center. So it would have to be enclosed. Like, obviously, Microsoft can subsidize the profits and the losses. But within itself, they'd rather it make a profit as well. Because that's just
I
a
just think they
win-win
want
for
more
everyone.
money, and this is the easiest way they can go about it.
Yeah. It's just
Same way
right.
with Motorpass. They just wanted more money, and it's the easiest way they can go about it.
Maybe it's my optimistic mind, but I'm trying to think, like, why would they want more money, though, Other than
It's
just,
Microsoft.
I
It's
want
big,
money.
Big company.
Yeah.
What other desire is there than I need more money?
True. Need to buy 2 more yachts, maybe. No, that's,
Two?
maybe 3, depending on how many people
Right,
buy.
you need one for every family member.
Exactly. But I believe that is most of everything in the segment. They're going to be doing the update soon. I forget what it was, but it was an update on something. And that's going to be dropping very, very soon, actually. There's the next big thing coming out. But then is the motorsports segment of the Stick Drift podcast. I will say there's been a motorsports dialogue thing that's been going viral on TikTok recently. You wouldn't have seen it, but there's an audio clip of an announcer going, and there's little Lando Norris, 21
I have
years.
seen that.
Yeah, that 21
But
years
I've seen it
old.
on some of my regular For You page.
Yeah. It's little Lando Norris, 21 years old. Is he 20? Was it 21, 22? He's only a year older than me. He's the same age as you, and you're not an F1 driver? You should feel disappointed.
Yeah.
Truly.
Unfortunately, I wasn't born a millionaire, so I was at a disadvantage.
It's outrageous that people the same age and younger than us are successful now. Like, that shouldn't be allowed. Tommy
Oh,
Ennet's like a
it gets worse when you watch
multi-millionaire.
Moto, because in like Moto
Mm,
2 and MotoGP, lightness is meta. You get like 19-year-olds, and it's
yeah.
just like, yeah, okay.
It's unfortunate that yeah we're at the age where younger people are more successful than us now, and it's depressing. We're getting old, man. We're getting old. But that's been going viral, so I've been seeing stuff about that.
I
People
don't
are
even know what
talking
that's
to.
from. Like, I don't remember it being made, like, not in a race, I don't think.
I mean, he's just by the side asleep. I think is the one clip that I saw, and obviously everyone's been doing the funnies
I've
and.
seen it over the Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen kissing image. But that's another story altogether, to be honest.
Yeah. Anything else I've engaged with motorsports related? There was some clip that I got on my Twitter of some like very cool looking racing series. I think they were electric of some kind, and it was Ferrari was racing in them, and it was just some guy being like, "Hey, he has bad manners," referring to the crew chief or something.
And narrows it down. That is, yeah,
They
every
looked
racing series ever.
cool, but I don't remember what they were. I don't at all remember what they were. But I mean that's all me as the normie has engaged with F1 in the last week. What's actually been going on in F1?
I mean, no MotoGP.
Yeah.
And there's no F1 next week, but this weekend there was
Mm.
Sao Paulo Grand Prix, Brazil.
Mm.
Qualify. The issue is it was on at silly times again because of UK.
Mm.
So memory is a bit waffle, but qualifying, as far as I remember, was just bang average. Because it's a sprint weekend, and there's two qualifying. First qualifying was bang average. Second qualifying was bang average. Is average F1 moment, to be honest.
Mm.
Williams were exceptionally bad. I replaced the engine with cheese or something because I don't know they weren't going anywhere. But that was Mercedes about as aerodynamic as a parachute, so they were terrible as well. Good in qualifying, but that's about it.
Yeah.
The sprint race, it was just kind of boring, to be honest. Nothing happened.
Mm.
The main race, everything happened, like, actually all at once. Discord's not going to load, so I actually just have to remember this now.
Yeah. My Discord's being weird as well. Discord.
Yeah.
Usual Discord servers, honestly.
Leclerc crashed. Well, he did crash, actually. He crashed on the formation lap, so he didn't even start the race because every issue under the sun, hydraulics failure, so no power steering, and then the power unit issue, I think he said in the interview after, so the rear wheel's locked, so he span, and then into the wall. And now because Discord went on, I can't remember which one of the Haas cars was hit, but at the very start of the race, Albon went to go around.
I see something with the Duracell badge on it destroyed.
Oh, that's the Williams destroyed.
Okay, yeah.
One of the Haas cars, I don't remember if it was Magnussen or Hulkenberg. I think. Oh, it's loaded. Yes.
There we go.
I could just see you DNF'd, actually. That's a brilliant idea.
I also, has Lando Norris been doing a big good? Has he been good recently? Because I feel like I've been seeing Lando Norris simping
the
on
McLaren's just a good car now. It's like second best car.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. I've been
It was Nico. Nico, all of them started. It was Nico Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, Albon. Nico went to like cut up across, didn't know Albon was on the right. So inadvertently squeezed his teammate. Which then he hit Albon's rear right. No, it weren't Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg was in the middle. Hulkenberg. So it was
what I saw. Yeah.
Magnussen on the right, squashed Hulkenberg into Albon. Albon then got pit maneuvered into Magnussen, which resulted in the car looking like this. But not only did it take out Albon and Magnussen, the rear wheel from Albon's car broke Daniel Ricciardo's rear wing when that went off. And Magnussen shunted Piastri, which broke his rear wing. So that essentially, this one incident took out 4 drivers of the race.
Yeah. I'm also looking at this. Yeah, the back shredded. Is that the steering wheel on the hood of the F1 car there? Is that
it comes off.
Okay, so it come off.
You can't get in and out of the car with the steering wheel on. You have to take it off to get in and out.
Is that like close up to you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's not that. It's not like it's the way because you lay down when you drive the car.
Yeah. I thought it was like the crash was so bad, even the steering wheel had gone that far up and landed on the front of the car.
That would be impressive.
Exactly, right? He's got some insane camber on his car now.
That is, yeah.
I will say, we were talking about what he stanced it. We talked about
Stanced Williams goes hard. Can't lie.
exactly. This was the guy who posted about the stance hot take. It was the guy driving this thing. He stanced it himself as well. That's brilliant.
I mean, the rest of the race was pretty average apart from that. Verstappen was just quicker than anyone else on the track.
I mean, that makes sense, yeah.
Lando was trying to catch, but, I mean, it's the McLaren was just the second best car on the grid by about 5 miles, so there's 2 leagues of their own up there at the front, and then you had essentially just Albon versus someone be impressive considering his car looked like that.
Yeah.
It was Alonso versus Perez for the rest of the race, basically.
And Alonso survived with his car intact, and
unironically, some of the best racing of the entire season.
Well, from Albon or from from
Albon. Look at him. Yeah. The race he did in that car was impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying, but like Perez didn't nuke anyone, didn't ram anyone on the inside, and take the most outrageous line imaginable. Just
mainly because he needs to finish the race.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like,
he's battling for P2 in the championship at this point with Hamilton. But yeah.
Surprised he managed to not do the most scummiest race line tactic ever
imaginable.
I mean,
he couldn't really dive bomb it up the inside because of the track. It's not a street circuit where you can kind of just push your way through.
I mean,
because Alonso was taking...
Yeah.
Because the way the track is, long back straight, very long back straight, sort of S-section, long second straight, and then it's a load of twisties to the first back straight again.
Yeah.
So the way Alonso was defending was recharging battery through the twisties, taking very square, like taking MotoGP square lines through all the corners so Perez couldn't get better drives off the corner. And then through on the back straight, just using all the battery to stay ahead through, even though Perez had DRS. Doing that for like 20 laps.
Yeah.
And then on, I think, was it 70 or 69 of 71 laps, Perez gets past because finally got a slightly less good drive at the final corner. But brakes late. I think you said it head for a full lap. And then the final lap, Perez brakes late into turn 1, which got him, because it's a chicane, got him poor drive through the second corners onto the second straight. Alonso then got, obviously, seeing Perez broke a bit too late, got an insane drive off the corners and managed to overtake him again. And by the time they got to the finish line, there was 52 thousandths of a second between them.
I mean, that's quite impressive.
There's like this much gap between them at the finish line. They're side by side. They drag race to the line. It was,
that's kind of cool, to be fair. Yeah. I mean, looking at it right now as well.
But when you think about it, Perez is in the fastest car on the grid by a country mile.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Alonso's in an Aston Martin that's just gone backwards and backwards and backwards.
Yep. I mean, I was gonna say that, like, yeah, Perez. He's not insanely low. He's 4th, but then I'm like, that's still not great for the car he's in. Like, still coming not podium, right? Like, is he guaranteed to be bloody nuked? Is that a thing?
He drove well this weekend, to be fair. Alonso is just that goated, to be fair, I think. There's not much he could have done. Alonso was just driving so defensively, so smart that unless he actually wanted to take him off the track, there was no real way of getting past. I don't think.
When is the final race of the F1?
We have 1 or 2 week break, and then it's Las Vegas, which is just, I think that's going to be another a complete stinker for Mercedes, to be fair. And then Abu Dhabi, his last race of the season, but I don't know when that is. I think they're the last 2 weeks of... Yeah, they're the last 2 weeks of this month.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I was going to say that because I also just thinking about the fact that, the season's coming to an end, reminded me that there was also a story. Can talk about it next episode, because I forgot to bring it up this episode. But during that final F1 event, they're also auctioning off the Lamborghini Countach that they ruined for Wolf of Wall Street. And apparently it's going for like 2 mil or something. It's going for something crazy. because it was in the movie. It's a ruined Countach. It's like a things are coming off, things are
it'll be a low
apart.
mile Countach is the issue with movie heritage.
Yeah. I mean, low mile. Yeah, it'll be low mile, but obviously it's not gonna.
It's not destroyed. It's.
Well, does it still run? I mean, I guess it might have done.
Didn't take the engine out of it. It would still run. I imagine it would take nothing to get it drivable again.
Yeah.
It's not a write-off. It's car's worth like £1 million if it drives alone. So...
But we'll talk about that next week, I guess. I just reminded me of that because that's getting auctioned off during the F1 event, the final one. But what else?
they showed an image during the pre-practice for this race that showed Aston Martin. The gap to Red Bull is 1.1 seconds average per lap in race pace. It was such a good race. Solely for Alonso's defense, but
yeah. But was there anything else in the world of motorsports and F1?
I mean, Verstappen sued in the interview after. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he did sue, and
he just got asked it's so out of nowhere. Like he done the Bellingham celebration as well after his win in Mexico.
I mean, to be fair, Verstappen, he's probably.
I think he's just bored at this point.
Yeah, he's probably enough of a celebrity now that like Cristiano Ronaldo will probably see that, right? Like, but he's Max Verstappen. He's the new Lewis Hamilton, right? And Lewis Hamilton's a pretty big celebrity as well. So I could see Max Verstappen becoming like a. I can see Cristiano Ronaldo noticing that Max Verstappen did such a thing. But on that note, I will sue us out of this podcast, and we'll see you boys next week. Of course, leave a like, review on the podcast platform of your choice that you're listening to the episode on, whether that's Spotify. Follow there. I don't know what else you do on Spotify. Subscribe to here on the YouTube version, and subscribe to and follow here on the Spotify version. We'll see you boys in the next one next week in a bit.